What's going on, guys? In today's video, I want to talk about what the role of the back elbow is supposed to do. Now, as a kid, you always hear, coaches and dads tell you, get your elbow up, get your elbow up. Well, I'm going to tell you exactly why and what the role of your elbow is supposed to be, so make sure to stick around. Now, before we get into the video, if you guys haven't yet or you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button below. So first, let's talk about launch position. Okay, so what launch position is the player is going to load, and as you go through your forward drive, once your heel hits the ground, that's called launch position. That's the moment right before we're going to start our swing. Okay, so nothing happens with our swing until that heel hits the ground. So a couple things that we look for in launch position. We want to make sure that our stride is about the size of our bat or the size of our inseam. Our front foot is slightly open. Our head is in the middle of our body. Okay, our front elbow is right in front of our back hip. Our hands are right in front of our shoulder, and our elbow is about shoulder height. Okay, that's the launch position that we want every player to be in. So now from here, let's talk about what the back elbow is supposed to do, okay? So talking swing sequence, the first movement is gonna be our back hip's gonna start to turn, our back knee is gonna start to drive under the hip. Now we're gonna turn the barrel. Okay, so what that looks like is our palm is about facing 45. We're gonna turn it backwards, and we're gonna start to rotate, and our elbow is gonna come into the slot, which is right by our hip like that. One thing that we want to make sure is that our elbow never gets ahead of our hand. Okay, that's called bat drag. Looks like that. We don't want that. I've done a ton of videos on that. I'll link those below. But we're going to turn the barrel. Okay, elbow comes nice and tight into our body. Our barrel stays tight to our shoulder. And we're going to come through, turn to contact, get the barrel in the zone early, to contact. At contact, what we look for with this back elbow is we want a nice L. Okay, front arm is working up like that to contact. Then we're gonna extend to the zone, palm up, palm down, and then finish. So for me personally, I like to get all of our players to start with their elbow up at shoulder height already. Okay, in reality, you can start with your hands down here as long as once you get to launch position, you're here. But for most kids, you wanna eliminate as much movement as possible. So by getting them to start here, the only movement is their load to launch position. If they start down here or whatever, there's another thing that they have to move to get in the right position. So start with your elbow already at shoulder height from here. And again, back elbow, we're gonna turn the barrel to our shoulder. Elbow's gonna come into the slot here, never getting ahead of the hand, always staying here. Barrel stays above this hand until we release it. Okay, contact, nice L in our elbow here. An extension. Now the biggest flaw that we see with the back elbow is bat drag. Now again, I'll just kind of quickly go over it. It's once we get to here and this back elbow starts to lead ahead of this hand and you're just kind of dragging the bat through the zone. This is a super common swing flaw with a lot of younger players. So if you ever see this elbow in front of this back hand, that's called bat drag, okay? We want to make sure this hand stays in front of this elbow. Okay, as we go through the turn and we get to slot, we can have it stacked here, but the moment it starts to get a little bit like that, we lose the barrel, we lose all barrel control, we lose all bat speed. This is not a good position we want to be in. So here we're going to pivot the hand, turn the barrel towards our back shoulder, elbow's going to come into the slot here next to our hip, hand stays ahead of this elbow, barrel stays tight to the shoulder. Right now the barrel is above the hand until we release it. We come through, release it, get into the zone early, come through, nice slight bend in the elbow here, extend, palm up, like that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this video gives a little bit more clarity on what the back elbow is supposed to be doing. If it did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.